Well, we're not hearing you. Still no.
you know, yeah.
Hello, it's
So Ms.
Victor
Lloyd,
Morales.
yeah.
Do you hear me?
No,
Yes,
Yes.
Mr. Ambassador, we can hear you.
Thank you.
all right, so ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests and participants, first of all, I just want to apologize for the issues, the technical issues this morning. Unfortunately, Murphy's Law, sometimes the things that can go wrong go wrong. So I want to apologize for that, first of all. No fault of the TTCSI, they would have gone through the process before ensuring that everything was in place, but we get an opportunity to start again. So good morning, buenos dias, and a warm virtual welcome to the Trinidad and Tobago Coalition of Services Industries doing business with the World Series. So today we have the absolute pleasure of touching on in one of the most beautiful countries in the world, Mexico. My name is Joel Julian, and I'm your moderator for today's session. And I must say, I believe we are in for a treat as we embark on this enlightening journey into the vibrant and diverse world of Mexican business. Now, fun fact, um, did you know that Mexico, not only famous for delicious cuisine, is also the birthplace of chocolate? Yes, that delectable treat that most of us adore, if not all of us, has its origins in the ancient Olmec, Mayan, and Aztec civilizations. So, as we explore the business landscape of Mexico today, let's hope that we can uncover equally sweet opportunities for collaboration and growth. Now, our lineup of speakers is nothing short of exceptional, which we have grown accustomed to with the TTCSI's doing business with the World Series. So Ms. Vashti Gaidin, the Chief Executive Officer of the TTCSI, who you would often hear me describe as one of the hardest working people in the industry, she will kick things off with opening remarks, setting the stage for our Mexican adventure. Next, we're honored to have His Excellency Victor Hugo Morales Melendez, the Ambassador of Mexico in Trinidad and Tobago, who will offer a unique blend of diplomacy and business insights, much like the cultural fusion found in a plate of Mexican mole. Now, following those remarks, we have two of our dynamic presenters. One is Miss Margarita Alcantara Alcala, and the other is Miss Fernanda Chavez. And the insight they both will help guide us through what is the intricate tapestry of Mexican business culture, highlighting the opportunities that lie within Mexico itself, And after these informative presentations, we invite you, our participants, to join us in our Q&A session. Now, remember, there are no wrong questions. It's just the opportunity for us to learn and grow together. So we really invite you to participate and utilize the Q&A tab at the bottom of the screen. You can post your questions throughout the session, but they will be addressed during the Q&A session itself. So please feel free to send in your questions, comments throughout the presentations. As we try to make this session as interactive and enriching as possible, we'll also be introducing several poll questions. And some of those questions, we will be presenting 3 questions today that will be presented a little later on in today's session. All right, so as we dive into the discussions, let's remember the words of Mexican novelist Carlos Fuentes, who says, culture consists of connections, not of separations. So let's connect, engage, and foster collaborations that will transcend borders. So without further ado, let's embrace the spirit of para todo bien and embark on this exciting exploration of business opportunities in Mexico. Join me in extending a warm virtual welcome to our first speaker, Ms. Vashti Gaidin. Now, Ms. Gaidin has 15 years experience in research and development policy design, SME development, global and institutional competitiveness, and international relations. Ms. Gaidin has spearheaded several projects with international development agencies, such as the Inter-American Development Bank, UNECLAC, and the World Bank, and has a proven track record of developing research products that enable the business community to make well-informed decisions. And I think that that is what we are seeing here today, presenting opportunities so that you will also, as a participant, will be able to make well-informed decisions going ahead. Now, Ms. Gaidin holds a first degree in history, master's in international relations and history, and a postgraduate diploma in promotion of financial markets. Good morning, Ms. Gaidin. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Joel. Good morning. Your Excellencies and embassies representatives, government officials, partnering associations, sponsors, members of the board of directors of the TDCSI, member associations of the TDCSI, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Welcome to the latest installment of TDCSI's Doing Business with the World series. Heartfelt thanks to His Excellency, Ambassador Victor Hugo Morales Melendez, and the rest of his team, Flavio especially, at the Embassy of the United Mexican States, to Trinidad and Tobago, for all they have done to make today's webinar a reality. Today, we will be stopping off, as Joel said, in Mexico, as we continue our journey of learning what it takes to do business with the world. And as we have indicated on previous occasions, by the time our series is over, we would have covered at least 35 countries, spanning basically every continent on the globe, all of which are ripe with opportunity and eager to do business, and all of whom, like us in Trinidad and Tobago, are saying we are open for business. Our 2 countries have been friends for a long time, officially established diplomatic relations on 30th April 1966. This year makes it 57 years of friendship, cultural and technical cooperation, and trade and investment. Indeed, one of the most significant investments Mexico made into Trinidad and Tobago was when cement producer Cemex, one of the largest cement companies in the world, became the majority owner of Trinidad Cement Limited, located in Claxonby. At the multilateral level, both of our countries are members of and partners in the ACS, CELAC, and the OAS and the United Nations, among other world-changing institutions. I mentioned a short while ago the significant investments Mexico made into Trinidad and Tobago. Trinidad and Tobago's construction sector via its ownership of TCL. Such an opportunity was made possible under the bilateral investment treaty with Trinidad and Tobago signed in 2006. It was a strategic move by both countries to increase their respective competitive advantages and build economic resilience in each country. From that time and prior to the COVID-19 pandemic, Trinidad and Tobago and Mexico saw trade growing between them reach double-digit figures year on year, close to 30% at one point in the mid-2010s, valued at some $366 million in 2013 alone. Much of that drive was driven by Mexico's natural gas, liquid ammonia, and methanol purchases from Trinidad and Tobago, and TNT's imports of minerals, refrigerators, prepared foods, iron and steel pipes, PVC, and much more from Mexico. In the geographic Caribbean, TNT is Mexico's third largest trading partner. In CARICOM specifically, Trinidad and Tobago is Mexico's main trade partner. And I know Ambassador Morales has been working hard to grow the trade between us even further to ensure that Mexico is listed among Trinidad and Tobago's top 5 trading partners in the world. Only last year, His Excellency and the Minister of Trade, Senator the Honorable Paula Gopi-Schoon, opened the doors for a greater flow of agricultural products, manufactured goods, and industrial services between both countries. That agreement was cemented with the visit of a Mexican trade mission to Trinidad and Tobago 1 year ago in a clear demonstration of goodwill and investment interests. But Mr. Ambassador, I know you are passionate about nearshoring, which has transformed the Mexican economy, and of your great desire to incorporate the Caribbean into such tremendous opportunities. Indeed, we at TTCSI are eager to work closely with you on fully exploring and developing the potential for nearshoring as a revenue earner and investment magnet for Trinidad and Tobago and CARICOM. TTCSI just a few days ago worked with the CARICOM Private Sector Organization, CPSO, to prepare a paper for the CARICOM Secretariat, highlighting the importance of the region as a nearshoring hub. Ladies and gentlemen, let me put it in perspective for you. You will understand why His Excellency has embarked on a mission to heavily promote nearshoring in the region. In essence, with nearshoring, companies seek to reduce their costs by subcontracting companies abroad in countries relatively close by to outsource their services. Last year, Mexico owned $35 billion worth of investments from international companies moving their operations to nearby Mexico, using it as a gateway to US markets. The Chinese in particular have been taking advantage of synergies inherent in the nearshoring options Mexico provides for their factories, thus further cementing Mexico as a major manufacturing hub in this hemisphere. In addition, as the 6th largest automobile producer in the world and the 4th largest automobile exporter in the world, Mexico provides an incredible opportunity for Trinidad and Tobago services companies in the automotive sector. Mexico also is a tourism powerhouse, the 6th most favored destination in the world, earning $35 billion in 2022 and welcoming 40 million visitors from every corner of the globe. Tourism has helped the Mexican economy rebound quickly in the post-pandemic era, and perhaps there are opportunities for possible joint ventures for tourism operators and service companies with their Mexican counterparts. It can be argued that one part of Mexico, which can be called a tourism mecca, is Cancun. In April 2022, Cancun was the home of a special 5-day, 4-night all-inclusive getaway called Melee Destinations, the brainchild of our very own cultural ambassador and iconic king of soca, Marshall Montano, in partnership with Tribe Carnival. The inaugural edition of this first of its kind destination weekend getaway was completely sold out and has been described as an epic experience. Fets day and night, Caribbean, Angostura, White Oak rum, doubles, bottomless premium drinks, unlimited food, a cast of the Caribbean's finest artists and DJs, plus an all-day carnival parade by Tribe. Melee Destinations 2022 was so nice that they did it over again this weekend, from September 7th to the 11th. Bookings at the partner resorts were well past 50% before the end of August, and the 2024 edition is expected to be even bigger and better. One important step we have taken to support our SMEs is to create a National Services Exporters Portal, a portal that allows Trinidad and Tobago services sector firms. And we have opened this portal up to international firms, so we look forward to Mexican firms registering on this portal, which will enable us to facilitate closer trade ties, to facilitate B2B meetings. I am urging all Mexican firms, Trinidad and Tobago firms, to please register on this portal. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, allow me to extend a heartfelt thanks to His Excellency and Flavio and the rest of his team at the embassy for all they have done to make today's webinar a reality. Your Excellency, we at the TTCSI look forward to a long and fruitful friendship with you and the team as we work towards deepening business relationships for the prosperity of services entrepreneurs in both countries. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to dive into the intricacies of doing business with Mexico. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Gayadeen. Always a pleasure to hear you. And thank you for laying the foundation for what we expect this morning. Now, one of the things that I've grown accustomed to with respect to the doing business with the World Series is when you look at the virtual room, it's always filled with a diverse and accomplished audience. And I think that's a testament to the series itself. And it's also what we're seeing here this morning with the doing business in Mexico. So I just want to applaud each and every one of you participants being here with us. But I also want to say a pleasant good morning to His Excellency Alvaro Enrique Cordero, the Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary of Venezuela to Trinidad and Tobago, who's also in attendance this morning. Good morning, Ambassador. As mentioned earlier, one of the things that we want to do with the series is make it as interactive as possible. So one of the things that we're doing this morning is there will be a poll. And in that poll, we are providing 3 questions to you. So question number 1 would be, have you previously conducted business with Mexican companies or partners? Now, this question is a simple yes or no question, so you can answer yes or no. Question 2 is, what aspect of doing business in Mexico concerns you the most? We have provided several options, and I'll go through the options. The first is understanding Mexican business regulations and legalities. Is it navigating the Mexican market and consumer preferences? Is it establishing effective cross-border communication and partnerships? Is it managing logistics and distribution in Mexico? Or is there something else that you believe is a concern for you with respect to doing business in Mexico? And our third question in the poll this morning would be, which industry or sector are you primarily interested in for your potential business endeavors in Mexico? Again, we have provided several suggestions or options, and they are 1, technology and innovation, agriculture, agri-food, tourism and hospitality. Ms. Gardine would have mentioned just now Cancun, and that it has been an aspect of Mexico that people look forward to, especially. Is it energy and natural resources? Is it financial services? Or is it something that we haven't even suggested as yet? Is there other? And we'd ask you to please specify if you have chosen that, if you would like to select that option. Now, I'd like to welcome, we are going to that part of the webinar, sorry, where we'll now hear from His Excellency, the Ambassador of Mexico to Trinidad and Tobago, His Excellency Victor Hugo Morales Melendez, who will be delivering his remarks. His Excellency has been an ambassador of Mexico and a career diplomat since 1988. Now, since April last year, April 2022, His Excellency has served as ambassador of Mexico to the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, concurrent to Barbados and Suriname. And as you look at his background, you will see the flags of the three nations behind. And he has previously appointed ambassador of Mexico to the Republic of Peru in 2019 to 2022. He served as Director General for South American related matters at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, as well as head of the Undersecretariat for Latin America and the Caribbean during the governmental transition period, November 2018. His Excellency obtained a master's in geopolitics and global security from the University of Rome and studied a master's in law at Unitec. He graduated a bachelor's degree in international relations from the National Autonomous University of Mexico and a diploma in Latin American studies from the Technological Institute of Mexico. His Excellency is the author of several articles published in Europe, Central and South America, and Mexico. Good morning, Your Excellency. The floor is yours.
Hello and good morning. It is with a great pleasure that I extend greetings to Mark Edgin, President of the Trinidad and Tobago Coalition of Services Industries, to Vashti Gayadin, CEO of TTCSI, who I thank for all her support, to Joel Julian, a splendid moderator to these seminars, to the Mexican participants, who I also thank for their interest and participation, and to all of those who have joined us because they consider it important to think of Mexico as a beneficial market for business. TTCSI does an extraordinary job with the embassies in Port of Spain, which allows Trinidad and Tobago to become more connected to the world and entrepreneurs in this country to explore greater alternatives for trade and investment opportunities. This morning, some other Mexican speakers will address specific situations and opportunities. Allow me, however, to provide you with an overview of what Mexico offers, what Mexico represents in global trade and investment. In this way, you will understand that Mexico can be an absolutely relevant partner for Trinidad and Tobago and for the Caribbean. Mexico is the 14th largest economy in the 14th largest economy in the world. It has a GDP of USD 1.7 trillion. That make it in the second largest economy in Latin America and the Caribbean, behind only a country that is 4 times larger territorially, but barely 25 larger than Mexico in GDP. What is relevant about the Mexican economy? Mexico's economy structure is geared towards international markets, and does so mainly through manufactured shared products. This differentiates us from the rest of the region. Mexico offers mainly, but not only, value-added products. Foreign trade accounts for 49% of GDP. In addition, it receives a large amount of foreign direct investment that is essentially directed to the manufacturing sectors. The country's economy structure is made up of tertiary activities, which account for 64% of Mexico's GDP, followed by secondary activities with 32%, and primary activities with 4%. There is a phenomenon that after the pandemic and in the context of global geopolitical changes is revolutionizing Mexico's economy structure, nearshoring. This can be defined as industrial relocation, which brings production markets closer to consumers, and Mexico is taking advantage of this strategic geographical position. Its highly skilled labor force and its trade agreements of benefits from these trends. In other words, in past decades, investment moved towards cheap labor markets to reduce production costs. Now, it is moving towards markets that are safe, friendly, and close to the centers of consumption. What is happening in Mexico with nearshoring? Investment has accelerated. In 2022, it grew 12% over the previous year with an amount of USD 36 billion. And this year, it is estimated to grow by 25%. Investments are received mainly from the United States and China, but also from other partners such as the Netherlands, Spain, the United Kingdom, Korea, and Canada, and are mainly located in the northeast of the country. The sector most favored by the nearshoring process is the manufacturing sectors. The country's production structure is changing, especially in the automotive industry, with this rapidly moving towards electromobility, with the emergence of new technological competitors. We are also consolidating aeronautical hubs in the center of the country. As I mentioned, investors today search for location close to consumer centers, and geographic plays an important role in Mexico's favor. Equally as relevant as geography is the second generation free trade agreement that Mexico has signed with the United States and Canada. It updates and strengthens the previous one. It represents a milestone in the promotion of the free trade between the three countries, removes more trade barriers, and facilitates the movement of goods and services. NAFTA 2 also promotes a more secure business environment. It establishes clear rules for investment and intellectual property, giving companies a solid legal framework to operate in all three countries. The benefits of NAFTA 2 make it highly attractive to invest in Mexico and, in turn, favor and expand Mexican production that is placed in North American markets, while also allowing two countries to seek other markets. In fact, Mexico has a network of 14 trade agreements, giving it access to 50 countries. In short, the country has a firm capacity for foreign trade and for attracting investment. Likewise, It is a market comprised of 126 million inhabitants, which demands products for production and products for consumption. It also has the capacity to generate investment abroad, which is referred to as the internationalization of Mexican capital. Let me share with you some figures to give you an idea of the current situation of the Mexican economy. GDP will grow at least 3% this year, which gives a much hope for improvement. Despite international fluctuation, inflation is barely 6%, which indicates good monetary management. Very relevant also is that international reserves amount to $204 billion, representing 5 months of imports. Unemployment is at 3%, which reflects a good degree of job stability. We experience issues such as inequality, but the country has managed to reduce poverty records by an extraordinary 16% of the last 4 years. You can see, therefore, that we have a solid economy structure. We are undergoing a transformation that is focused on production and business. Also, I'm sure you are also interested in tourism sector. We have a lot to say here. Mexico is the world's 6th largest destination for international visitors. Every year, some 40 million tourists visit Mexico. The sector contributes 9% of the GDP and generates jobs for 7% of the economically active population. To put in perspective, the next most important Latin America and Caribbean country in terms of tourist flow attracts 8 million visitors a year, which represents 20% of the Mexican market. We have developed an excellent hospitality service culture. Tourists feel well treated in Mexico. In fact, foreigners look to Mexico as an option to live in the country. Internations, the largest global expat network, recently ranked Mexico as the best destination for people living and working abroad for its impressive culture, its exceptional cuisine, but above all, for the ease of making friends. So not only do I invite you to visit Mexico and enjoy its beauty and services, but also to consider it as a relevant source of collaboration for the economic diversification of Trinidad and Tobago. At this point, I would like to talk a little about the economic relation that exists between our countries. According to Trinidad and Tobago's official statistics, Mexico is this country's 8th largest trading partner. Trinidad and Tobago supplies Mexico mainly with ammonia, urea, and methanol. Mexico exports mainly machine tool used in Trinidad and Tobago's industry, plastics, paper, and various of food ingredients. The relationship is favorable to Trinidad and Tobago, and there are signs that it will be even more so with the recent agreement signed between Mexico's CIMSA and Trinidad and Tobago's Phoenix Park gas processors. From the embassy's perspective, what opportunities exist to increase bilateral trade and investment? We offer high-quality products that can be exported to Trinidad and Tobago with better prices and competitive advantage that those currently purchased in other markets such as automobiles and tractors, plastics, electrical materials and industrial tools, chemicals and pharmaceutical products, fruits, vegetables, and processed foods. There are really many opportunities. For example, Trinidad and Tobago consumes chickpeas or chana, as it is known locally, for the famous doubles. Mexico is the leading producer of chana in Latin America. Mexico can be an excellent and secure supplier. It seems to me that another area of opportunities to increase the Mexican presence in the Trinidadian market is beer. Mexico is by far the world's leading export of beer. I have also seen that there is room for expansion of tequila and mezcal, the traditional spirits of Mexico. In terms of investment, Mexican entrepreneurs could explore the local industrial sector. We have the example of TCL, Cemex, and GMB Group Mexican companies with good dividends that, thanks to the good investment environment in Trinidad and Tobago. We also hope that Trinidad and Tobago can diversify its export to Mexico beyond the relevant energy sector. In investments, the potential that the Trinidad and Tobago investors have could be increased in Mexico with a high probability of capitalizing and growing due to the reason outlined above. As you can see, Mexico is a solid economy with stability and adequate growth without turbulence. It is a quality market with a spirit of openness to international markets. Mexico is also Caribbean, and there are opportunities to continue building trade and investment relations with Trinidad and Tobago, one of the most solid Caribbean economies. I invite you to look upon Mexico as an excellent opportunity to do business. Thank you so much. Happened something?
You're good.
All right, thank you very much, Ambassador. Thank you very much, Ambassador. A pleasure as always. I'm getting some difficulties here, so just to make it a little easier, I have decided to switch off my camera. So you all are able to at least hear what I'm saying. I just want to thank the Ambassador again for that very insightful presentation. And I know one of the things that would have piqued interest is when the ambassador have spoken about the China and the opportunities in terms of importing China from Mexico, and even in terms of the other alcoholic beverages like beer and first this morning. Now, we would have done the poll questions so far. All right, I'll give you the results of the polls a little later on. But now we'll be going into our first presentation. So I'd like to invite Director General for Global Investment at the Secretariat of Foreign Affairs in the Government of Mexico, Ms. Margarita Alcantara Alca, to deliver her presentation. Now, Ms. Alcantara Alcala holds a master's degree in public policies from King's College, London, and a bachelor's degree in political science from the Monterey Institute of Technology. With more than 10 years of experience in the federal public administration, international organizations, and civil society organizations, she has maintained her firm commitment to Mexico, defending the common cause and supporting young people and vulnerable groups. Currently, as Director General for Global Investments at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ms. Alcantara Alcala seeks to continue with Mexico's leadership in economic promotion and attracting foreign investment in strategic sectors for the country. So you can understand why we are so pleased to have her with us this morning. You know, she has served as Chief of Office of the Undersecretary for Multilateral Affairs and Human Rights of the Foreign Ministry from 2020 to 2022, where she participated in high-profile projects on feminist foreign policy, such as the Women's Consultations, What Do Women Say, and the Ellis Fund. For more than 13 years, she has been participating in civil society with the foundation of her association, Wake Up, Question and Act AC, where she promotes political advocacy activities among young children and young people and children in Mexico, as well as training on civic awareness. Good morning, Ms. Alcantara Alca. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Mr. Joel Julian. It's a pleasure. Excellency Victor Hugo Morales, kind pleasure to share the floor with you. Ms. Bashanti Guiden, good morning. And Ms. Ms. Fernanda Chavez. I've been victim of the last wave of COVID, so I'm still recovering. You might need to excuse me. I'm very sorry. And Mrs. Telia Budram. Good morning to everyone, and thank you for Mr. Joel for your kind introduction. Thank you, everyone who is attending this webinar. It is a true pleasure for me and for the Direction General for Global Investment to be able to talk to you and explain a bit of what we do in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and why Mexico is one of the best options to invest. I'll try not to be very repetitive because our embassy, His Excellency, our ambassador, has made a terrific presentation, and I'll try not to step a lot on the subjects he already touched. But I'll start, if we can put the presentation, please. We can project the presentation. I'm going to start a little bit by explaining what is the objective and mission of the General Direction for Global Investment. So in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, next please. In the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, we do have the responsibility of economical promotion of Mexico through our representations in embassies and consulates. We are very proud to be one of the countries with the biggest network of foreign representations abroad. We have more than 160 representations, which we are very happy to have one in Trinidad and Tobago. Our core mission is to foster sustainable economical growth in Mexico through attracting strategic global initiatives. We have it's for us, it's very important to grow and to foster relationships. We work in 4 different areas. We have working groups with the federal government and local authorities to better suit and assign or encourage investors to go to the right place in Mexico, where their projects can be more successful. We do this through our network here in Mexico and abroad. We try to provide information to close the information gap between investors in outside Mexico and here in the country. So through our representations, we like to say we catch all the investment leads, and we work closely with key stakeholders to provide guidance and support to investment projects seeking to establish foothold here in Mexico. Also, we have we have a special initiative to promote our government's key strategic projects for industrial development, which is the Interoceanic Corridor and the Plan Sonora for sustainable energy. Our Interoceanic Corridor, it's gonna be a 300-kilometer railroad that will connect both the Atlantic Ocean with the Pacific Ocean, establishing a very effective alternative to the Panama Corridor. And we will also be we'll be developing 10 special industrial parks through that area of our country to foster economical and industrial development. As well, the Sonora project is focused mainly on generating an ecosystem, mainly for IT and semiconductors industry, to provide them with the conditions of water and green electricity that to sustain their projects. Next, please. So now, why Mexico as an investing destination? Here I might repeat a bit of what our dear ambassador said, but I'll try to be as entertaining as possible. Next, please. Mexico has a very strong infrastructure and transport sectors here in Mexico. Mexico is has the 3rd place in volume of passengers per kilometer in road transport, and the 4th place in volume of tons per kilometer transported by freight, and the 8th internationally in OECD. What this can give you is that Mexico has a very strong highway network that can provide a lot of road traveling for all our merchandise. We do not only have Mexico, the natural idea to believe that Mexico is competitive is because we have one of the biggest markets just next door, and that might be a geographical condition, but we have worked very hard to make this geographical advantage a true strategic advantage by generating this transportation network that can easily connect any corner of the country. We have this network designed to travel from the ports in each ocean down up north and down south to the north and south borders. Also, we have almost 800,000 kilometers of railroad network. As you may know and understand, transporting heavy merchandise through railroad, it's not only cheaper but also more secure. And Mexico has a very strong network of railroad network to connect to Canada and the US through our 14 passages, border passage. No, don't close it, please. And also this network of railroad connects, it's designed to connect with our main ports, both in the Pacific and the Atlantic. We also these railroads are gonna be enhanced with 344 long-term ongoing projects that we have at the moment, and 145 new infrastructure projects. We're working to keep on enhancing and keep on providing better transportation and better infrastructure for our investors. Next, please. Is the strategic? Yeah. Well, as we were commenting, Mexico is designed to be very well connected from north to south and east to west. We have 49 customs, 21 in the borderline. Just through the north, we have 18 port customs with the US, making us very efficient to access our biggest market. And we also have 59 nautical ports to connect both to Asia, Caribbean, and Europe and Africa. Thank you. Next, please. As I was telling you before, I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry. COVID hasn't been nice with me in this second infection. I'm very sorry. Here we can see our road, how our infrastructure is designed to interconnect both the road network, the railroad network, and the maritime network, and both the airport network. We have worked very hard to keep our connections, not only in the north of Mexico and the center, but all around. Next, please. Next, please. As our ambassador also say, we have 14 trade agreements with 50 countries. This is a massive advantage for Mexico. Mexico is used as an exporting platform, not only because of the size of our domestic market, but also because we're not only the doorstep to North America, we are the doorstep to the world. And we also have regional agreements that enhance and strengthen our exportation platform, which is USMCA, TPAT with the Atlantic, and the Mexico-European Association. That's the reason why we are ranking in Latin America. We are the #1 exporting country. Next, please. North America, it's by far one of the biggest market, which any company wants to get a piece of it and wants to be able to access it. We have recently, well, in the last 4 years, have updated our regional trade agreement, as our ambassador said. And it is very important to consider that whatever is built in Mexico, it is considered to be built in North America. So for illegal instances and tax instances, it is produced in the US. So we are part, our trading rules benefit the production of very high technology products such as semiconductors and other high-tech electronics. Next, please. Mexico is a very young country, and this is and also one of the conditions that makes Mexico such an attractive country. We have a very high pool of talent. Our population average age is 29 years old, which makes us a very attractive country because companies that come here to Mexico are known for sure that they will have talent for at least 2 generations to keep on producing and collaborating in their projects. We have 120,000 engineers that graduate yearly. So that makes a pool of very high qualified talent for any company establishing here. We have a network of over 5,000 universities. We have a National Technological Institute network of over 254, and we have 800 skills centers to upscale and rescale to make more delicate and tailor-made capacities for each company that's established here in Mexico. Other very important factor that has been very attractive is that we have established the dual formation model, similar or inspired from the German model, where companies provide part of the education and they collaborate in the design of the curricula and subjects the students are studying in the universities. So when they are graduating, not only they are already being attracted to the companies, but they have the skills, exact skills that an industry needs. This is a very important strategy where academia, government, and companies working together has created great conditions for economical promotion. Next, please. I'll try not to say much here because our ambassador already said it. If you can click next. Our automobile sector is one of the most important manufacturing sectors for the exportations in Mexico. The automobile sector compounds around 4% of the global exportations. So the automobile sector pushes the whole Mexican economy, not only because of the impact of the OEMs, of the big companies, but because they have created an ecosystem of supply around them that generates technology and jobs around these big automobile companies. Next, please. Well, I think this is all automobile, and mostly it's already been covered for his excellency. I would like just to go next one, please. To the electromobility that has been slightly already commented, but it's very important. Our economic sector relies heavily on the automobile, and this is something we understand. So we have been working with companies abroad to help them, to give them these assurances. This is why we consider building relationships, strong relationships with all the investors. Thanks to this assurance, big electromobility companies have established here in Mexico, and most of the automobile companies are working towards the transitions from IC vehicles to EVs. At the moment, just in this year, we have announced the Tesla establishment here in Mexico for their next gigafactory, as well as the BMW production of electric vehicles here in Mexico. Almost there is a very interesting concept. In the Mexican territory, we have around over 160 companies already being part of the supply chain for Tesla. So it's not only the OEMs. Mexico has creating a cozy industrial hub for all these manufacturing giants. I think the rest is information our ambassador already mentioned, and I think for now it's I would like to go only to the last one, the last slide, please. Yes, the last one, please. Our ambassador also mentioned a bit of the fiscal stimuli and incentives, but I would like to make just a quick stress some information. The next one, please. It should be slide 29. Yep, 29. Yep. Next one. Mexico has we have created, as I mentioned several times before, a real ecosystem for exportation to attract companies that want to not only take advantage of the huge domestic market, but they want to use Mexico as an exportation platform. For that, we have several programs that facilitates and incentivize their production here in Mexico. We have the IMEX program that provides you with relieves you from paying all the temporal importation taxes. So if you are importing some raw materials or components for your final exportation product, you don't pay any taxes on that. And we have also PROSEC, which is the similar program than IMEX, but this is not, you don't need to export these products. These are products that you add value, you import components and raw materials, and you add value here in Mexico for local markets, and that also helps you to reduce the importation rates. Also, our ambassador already commented on the free zones in the north and south borders, but I would like to also comment that in the interoceanic corridor, there will be this 300-kilometer railroad that will connect both oceans. We will have 10 industrial parks with several, let me check if I have it here. We will have, can you go to the previous one? Sorry, previous, no, previous. It's too fast, sorry. Should be slide 28. There you go. These are the incentives that we will be providing if you choose to establish your industrial projects here in the corridor. In these 10 industrial parks, the federal government is fostering. The government will be providing a 4-year fiscal incentive of 100% of your added value tax in credit. It's gonna be it's not gonna be charged, or you won't be need to pay it. We will have this tax credit will be equivalent of to the 100% of the income tax payable for 3 years, in which the companies established there will obtain a certificate, and in the 3 subsequent years, the tax credit will be equivalent to the 50% of the income tax payable, or up to 90% if the minimum employment levels are exceeded. Also, taxpayers can immediately deduct 100% of the original investment amount for new fixed assets. So we have an accelerated deceleration. So this is all that we can comment on why Mexico has become such an attractive position in this nearshoring era. It's not only because we provide very low logistic cost, but because we have the conditions to make any investment project flourish. We have the tax incentives, we have the natural resources, but for most, we have the talent any project needs. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ms. Alcantara Alcala, for that insightful presentation. And I just want to also wish you continued recovery. And thank you for being here with us this morning, in spite of everything else. And a really great and informative presentation. Right, so participants, just a reminder, you can utilize the Q&A tab at the bottom of the screen. You can use I realize some persons have started to utilize it already, but this is just a reminder. If you have any questions that may have come out of the last presentation, you can put your questions now. If there are any statements you'd also like to make, you can place it there. We will address them at the end of the two presentations, sorry. So, but you can, we try to be as engaging and interactive as possible. So there's always that space there if you have any questions that may have arisen from the past presentation. I would also like to recognize the presence of His Excellency Wellington Ben Cosme Castano, the Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary of the Dominican Republic to Trinidad and Tobago. Welcome, Your Excellency. I would also like to recognize the presence of the Shah d'Affaires for the High Commissioner of India, Mr. Raju Sharma, also welcome. And I'd also like to recognize the presence of TTCSI Director, Ms. Angela Leroy. Good morning and welcome also. Now I'd like us to welcome together Ms. Fernanda Chavez Arcos, the Director for Central America and Latin America, the Mexican Business Council for Foreign Trade, Investment and Technology. Now, Ms. Chavez graduated with a bachelor's degree in international business from the National Polytechnic Institute with a specialty in public relations from La Salle University and a master's degree in public image from the College of Public Image Consultants. In 2012, she began to work for the Comunicación Vial, a company from the construction sector responsible for international matters. At the same time, Ms. Chavez assisted the Executive Directorate for Central America and the Caribbean at the Mexican Business Council for Trade, Investment and Technology, managing public relations for the company, and in the chamber, institutional relations with heads of states, diplomats, secretaries of state, entrepreneurs, public officials, as well as lobbying with related international bodies. Now, in 2017, Ms. Chavez joined the business intelligence firm Cordena Cinco as a consultant to develop a commercial vision with the perspective and understanding of public policies in Mexico and Latin America. In 2021, she was responsible for corporate communications of the company Lealtad Verde. Now, Ms. Chavez is currently in charge, of the Directorate for Central America and the Caribbean at the Mexican Business Council for Foreign Trade, Investment and Technology. Good morning, Ms. Chavez. Welcome. The floor is yours at this time.
Thank you, Joel, for your excellent presentation. I think I'm gonna ask for yourself every time I have to talk, because you did it so great. So good morning, everyone. Thank you for the invitation. It's such a pleasure for me, and also an honor to share this board with the ambassador. Nice. Good morning, ambassador, and Margarita. Nice to see you again, and I hope you recover soon. And Miss Basti. Sorry, Miss Basti, it's such a pleasure to be here. And thank you all to attend for this webinar in order to try to have or to know Mexico, and you be in charge or be interested to make business with Mexico. So you all have made such a good presentation. I don't know what else to say. I think I don't have anything else to say. So I'm trying to try not to be repetitive. My colleagues and the ambassador and Margarita gave you such a big understand and a big point of view what is Mexico is, and it's very complex, yes, but it's a nice market, you know. So I'm gonna share my because I didn't give you my presentation before, but I'm gonna start sharing. Could you please tell me if you are seeing my presentation?
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. So, as Joel said, we are the Mexican Business Council for Foreign Trade, Investment, and Technology. We are an organization, a Mexican organization. We are the private sector, and we are dedicated to promote international trade, attracting direct invest, and also to instruct technological development. Sorry, we are a multi-sectoral I don't know, companies. We have the companies from the all sizes. We have a big, the biggest one in Mexico City, but also we are SMEs companies. So we are you are going to see it later on. So our main objectives, as I was saying, is to represent the private sector, to Mexican private sector, to the world, to the rest of the world. Promote to increase the foreign trade, promote technology transfer and development, to promote the internationalization, of SME, and promote foreign direct investment. These are some of the companies that are part of the. Sorry, you are listening me well, because yeah, okay. Here are some companies that are from COMCES. Some of them are Mexican companies, but they are also companies that are, I don't know, from other part of the world, but they are part of COMCES in order to get our help and our representation. So we have a national presence, as you can see, and I'm going to talk later on. We are a big country, so in order to be present in the whole country, we are integrated by local business leaders who help us to represent the companies and represent us in every state. Okay, to promote foreign trade and foreign investment in the respective states. So we are always counting with the support of the state governments. As you can see, we work hand by hand with the Mexican government. This is such an example. I have the honor to be sharing this board with the ambassador and also with Margarita. So we are always working together, and we are promoting Mexico. So this is the national presence that we have in Mexico. So there we have the different offices. I'm not gonna. I don't know, we have a lot of we have presence in 27 states of 32 states that we have. So how we work, or how we are in our international presence. So we are divided in 5 international sections: North America, Africa, and the Middle East, Asia, and the Pacific Rim, Europe, so Latin America and the Caribbean, the direction that I have the honor to be in charge. And we also have the Anglophone Caribbean. So we base our international presence in more than 60 bilateral business committees. From the Anglophone Caribbean, Mark McGuinness is our president that I know, I have understood that he is here, and he can help you also to get into Mexico. He's a very businessman important businessman in Mexico, but more important than that is that he have experience working with the Anglophone Caribbean. He know the country. We have the pleasure and the honor to be in Trinidad and Tobago July this year, and I could be able to hear his experience, and he also I don't know, show me where he works when he was working in Trinidad and Tobago. So I'm telling you this just to make an example of the I don't know, the understood that we have in this case of Trinidad and Tobago. So here are some of our committees that works with Latin America and the Caribbean. I hope to see soon Trinidad and Tobago name it in this presentation. Well, in the Central America and the Caribbean, we have signed more cooperation agreements with chambers, in instance. So here are some chambers that we have signed an MOU. And these are some of the activities we have done this year. As you can see, we work with the here at this picture, you can see, well, all the ambassadors, the Mexican ambassadors at the Caribbean. There is the ambassador Hugo Morales, and there are the rest of the ambassadors, the Mexican ambassadors in the Caribbean. And we also have this year this business meeting for Latin America and the Caribbean. And in that event, we work and we make a plan, a year plan to work in this case with the Caribbean, and we are expecting and wanted to do it again at the 24th. And we are invited. At the beginning, I want to say that you are already invited to assist to this event, and also with the chamber, the TIC chamber that we are talking about signing an MOU. Well, this is some of the activities that we do at COMSE. We received the official visit of the Honduran Foreign Minister to Mexico, and we also had the business dialogue with the newly appointed ambassador of Mexico in Panama, that Ambassador Bichir, that now is in Panama. And okay, let's gonna get into Mexico. I'm gonna give you some facts just to put it in mind of Mexico. We are 126 million people, so we are such a big country. Okay. Also, the ambassador says that we are the fourth economy in the world, the second in Latin America. And we have 32 entities, federal entities. Mexico City is the capital and the headquarters of the 3 branches of the government. Just to make a point of view of Mexico. Here we have the different Mexicos. We at Mexico, we'd like to say that we are so many Mexicos. We are so many people, and this is such a big territory that. Believe me, it's not the same to try to do business at the north of the Mexico than trying to do business at the south, etc. So we have these different zones. Margarita helped us in the previous presentation to name what projects are developed in each area, in order to try to sorry, I forgot the word. In order to try to promote Mexico and develop the different zones. So nowadays, the actual government are promoting here at the south, at the Yucatan Peninsula zone, this the number 30, 22, and 4, more or less. They are promoting the Maya train. They want to, in order to promote and develop this area. Okay, so Margarita helped us in the last presentation to know how many kilometers of train we have there. But also important to know that all this part, the south of Mexico, it's been very, very, very important for the actual government to improve and to develop. So also we have the Transismic project, or the Tehuantepec isthmus. So also Margarita talked about it. Those big projects, because are very important, big and projects are helping to develop the south of the Mexico, I said all of this because I would like you to invite you that when you want to come to Mexico, please try and think that the south of Mexico could be the better or a very great option to get into your products. So because we are here connected with Central America, and we also have the connection with the Caribbean, so it's a great area, I think, to you to develop your or to get into the Mexican market. At the next presentation slides, you are gonna see, I apologize because there are a lot of text. Of course, you're gonna have this presentation, but you are gonna see the kind of sectors and the activities that we have at every part. So please see this presentation later with a little bit with more time, just to understand and to realize and to also figure out the different sectors and specialties we have. We are talking about the north. Okay, as I said, at the central, what are Mexico City. Well, here are based the more and big companies, but we are the economy of services for most of the companies. But please see, I want you to make a little bit more attention, as I was saying, to the South Pacific zone. You know, there is composed at the south of Mexico. I think it's better, and it's yeah, going to be more feasible for your products. So you have the Yucatan Peninsula. I want to talk about the current agenda we are having in COMSE, and the projects we are promoting for the Caribbean, and yeah, for the Caribbean and Latin America, in order to get close. We are working with our companies, and trying to promote with the government the short sea shipping, something that you are already doing, because as I know, and if I get wrong, please correct me. You do this kind of transport to get to get the products to the close island. So that is something we also want to develop in order to use our port in the Caribbean, like Veracruz, or maybe also Yucatan, to export with a sea shipping and get close our products to all the Caribbean. We know also that you are importing most of the products from Europe. So in Mexico, we think we can go closer to you by short sea shipping. Also, we are promoting the Cancun airport as a logistic point. Cancun, it's very connected, and I think it's the more connected airport to the Caribbean. We have more flights to the whole Caribbean from Cancun, so it's important. It's a good project to develop Cancun as a logistics. Also, well, we are part of the Mesoamerican Business Council. We work with the government too, but more important, we work not only with the Mexican government, we work with the governments of the whole Mesoamerican countries. They are part of the Mesoamerican countries, and the governments and the chambers, and we are trying to promote to be more close. Okay, so as I said at the beginning, we are working to signing of MOU with the Chamber of Industry and Commerce, in order, as I was saying, to getting close with you, to getting close with Trinidad and Tobago. What I wanted to say, to make a resume about what I want to say, is to understand, try you to get to understand that for Mexico, we are also we are very interested in growing in the Caribbean, Central America, and Latin America. We want to increase our exportations, but we also want to receive your products. As you can see, we are a complex economy, we are a very open economy, and you are very strong at logistics and so on. So I think I see a lot of potential between our companies to increase our commercial relations. Sorry. Here you can see some sectors that we have to that we are interchanging products. So, well, I don't know if you want, we can talk about with a lot of details about what products do you have, or we have more opportunities. But I just want you to see some examples. I also want to talk about really quickly about the companies that currently having projects with the Caribbean, and we are also helping to get into the Caribbean somehow. Mexican flavors, Pastas La Moderna, H24, Design Chemicals, and also another company named Cubisla. I cannot talk at details where they looking at any or every country of the project, but I just want to make an example that we have Mexican companies, part of COMSE, that are working and wanted to get to the Caribbean. So we can also help you to do the same thing, to get into Mexico. So thank you all for being here. Thank you for all the information gave the ambassador Margarita Basti. Thank you very much for the invitation. And well, I'm here to listen if you have any question. Once more, thank you for the invitation.
All right, thank you very much, Ms. Chavez. Really appreciated. Very insightful, in-depth, informative presentation. All right, so one of the things that we would have done at the beginning of the session, we would have introduced the poll questions. So I'm just going to ask the team from TTSI, they can just put the results for the poll questions, please. Right, so the first question was, have you previously conducted business with Mexican company partners? 8 said no, so I'm glad by your ability to be in this session today to a little bit more and of how to collaborate and be able to conduct business with Mexican companies or partners. The second question was, what aspect of doing business in Mexico concerns you the most? And 85% of those who responded said establishing effective cross-border communication and partnerships. So I think that this is also one of the reasons why we are having this session today, to be able to collaborate and partner. The final question, unfortunately, I didn't get to see the poll results, but we have a fair idea of what the situation is like now. So now it's time for, right. So the third question is, which industrial sector are you primarily interested in for your potential business endeavors in Mexico? And the responses seem to be more or less along the same lines. 35% said other, but of the choices that were presented, 24% said technology and innovation, and 21% said agriculture and agri-food, as well as 21% were interested in terms of energy and natural resources. So that is just a fair idea, like what our polls would have said this morning. So I want to go directly into the Q&A section now. Both of our presenters, Ms. Chavez and Ms. Alcantara, would have presented how attractive Mexico is as a destination. So one of the questions, however, is talking about beauty and skincare service in Mexico. So the question is how big is the beauty and skincare service in Mexico? And as far as manufacturing goes, are natural skincare products locally produced in Mexico? I don't know which one of our presenters or which one of our panel, whether the ambassador himself or any of our presenters would be able to or would like to tackle this question. Chavez?
Yes. Well, I don't have
Yeah.
the numbers at this moment, but what I can say to you or to answer the question is that the skincare industry sector are growing here in Mexico. I know that you have a very, very, very big culture talking about that. So if you are asking this question in order to know if you have opportunities here in Mexico, yes, you have it. But I also would like to say it not only to you or to the old companies, just do first market research. But just you have a good one, a big market and a good one. Yeah, I don't know if that was it. But if you want, I can send you some numbers also to make a response more technical response.
Thank you very much, Ms. Chavez. Right, so the next question that we had is, the business saying that they're interested in companies in Mexico for industrial gases, but the transit time to Mexican ports are not very attractive. So they wanted to know if any action is being taken to improve sea transit routes between Trinidad and Tobago and Mexico, saying that this will significantly improve the trade prospects. Ambassador, Your Excellency, I don't know if this is a question you would like to tackle.
Hello, good morning, everyone.
You are on mute, Flavio.
I'm sorry. We are working on the embassy to provide more demand between Mexico and Trinidad and Tobago, because the demand is the rule that maybe we can improve our sea transit routes. Unfortunately, the number of the products of the demand is not too high to connect directly between Mexico and Trinidad and Tobago, and sometimes the distributors made the transit between Mexico, Miami, or Panama to connect with Trinidad and Tobago. In terms of in the close future, we increase our demand of some, maybe some companies would like to connect Mexico and Trinidad and Tobago directly, is in terms of the request of the product. So this will be an option to be more attractive, the ports of Mexico, as I see in the questions. And then the first question that you say is, we are interested in working with companies in Mexico for industrial gases. Yes, too many companies from Trinidad and Tobago is investing in Mexico in industrial gases. So the key factor or the key option to doing business with Mexico in this important area is to try to connect better with Mexican partners. A lot of companies is established in Mexico and is looking for more foreign investors in the current companies, to the current companies in Mexico. So the embassy will connect, or will be served as a bridge to connect with industrial gases, Mexican industrial gases companies. And if somebody's interested to connect with them, they are requesting for foreign investors.
Flavio, also, if I allow you, sorry. If you also allow me to say something or to add something, it's that at Comcel we work with a Mexican company, a big one, talking about the sector, name it Infra. So if you want, we can also make the connection, and you try to start to talking with the company. So just wanted to add that.
All right, thank you, Flavio. Thank you, members. All right, so we have with us His Excellency Alvaro Sanchez Cordero, the Ambassador Extraordinary Plenipotentiary of Venezuela. And Ambassador, I understand that you would be willing to also comment on this question first.
Yes, good morning, everyone. And thank you very much for the opportunity. And actually, first and foremost, congratulations to all the speakers, to TTCSI for facilitating this important dialogue and conversation. Also, very especially to His Excellency Victor Hugo Morales, my dear colleague. He's always enlightening us with so much information. All the activities and presentations that he makes are so powerful and educational. So I personally appreciate him for that. And also happy to see that after such a brilliant and entertaining Mexican National Day 2 days ago, with so much music, festivity, and culture, he still had the energy to be here. So I congratulate him and his team for that. No, I just wanted to take this opportunity to mention that Venezuela has direct flights with Mexico, both to Cancun and Mexico City, frequently, very regularly. In fact, Cancun is 3 times a week. So, and the reason why I say this is because, of course, for Trinidad and Tobago, this is very convenient since we now have, or Caribbean Airlines now has direct flight from Port of Spain, from Piarco Airport to Caracas once a week, each Saturday. So that means that an easy and convenient way to perhaps link Trimbagonians interested in doing business or visiting Mexico is through Venezuela, considering this air linkage between both Trinidad and Tobago and Caracas, and from Caracas to Cancun and Mexico City. So I consider this maybe useful information. By all means, we can always provide you further details, and basically that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ambassador. Really appreciate it. And thank you for being here with us this morning. All right, so the next question we have is, good morning. What opportunities are there for financial services and technology? I don't know who would like to tackle that question. Ms. Alcantara, I don't know if I can bring in this point. I don't know if that's something that you could touch on. All right, not getting Ms. Alcantara. Flavia, I see your. Is that something you would like to address?
Yes. We have a lot of options in terms of fintech. Of course, the digital banking is very development in Mexico, and is thankful for the Mexican company that is investing in fintech for digital banking, or national bankings and private banking working on that. And obviously, this modern dynamic terms is, I don't know if you can mute your microphone, please. Joel, thank you. Yes, and for payments and transactions, we have a lot of companies that are providing the service for payments without contact, as you see, and as you know. And in another important area is for the wealth management. Some dentists, doctors is requesting for these financial services to keep a control of their services. And as well in insurance, InsurTech is the name of the new dynamic in terms of provide financial services for the insurance market. And cybersecurity, Mexican companies is working on that, and the financial inclusion as well. So Mexico has a lot of companies, small companies is providing that services. So if somebody wants or would like to request a special company to contact for provide services in these areas, is very easy to connect with them. So and I forgot the open banking is another option for financial services. Mexico has a very, very open regulatory for requests how is the implement of the procedures in financial services in Mexico. So as you know, Mexico is very open to the regulations of the international markets. And we are in the green list for these financial services. So as well, we can share our good practices to the people that would like to improve your skills in fintech. Joel, you are mute.
All right, Ms. Chavez. I'm seeing a question. One of the questions posed. The Caribbean Mexican Business Council, if it works with travel agencies or tour operators in Mexico, and how would a successful tourism connection begin?
Let me see if I understood your question. So you are asking me if we are with as Comce or work with Mexican or with tourism companies? Sorry.
Yeah, the person is asking if you all work with travel agencies or tour operators in Mexico.
Well, we have some agreements with some hotels and resorts in order to some companies or many business people travel to Mexico City or to the could you please mute sorry, since that sorry. Thank you. Was saying that we are working with some companies that that with tourism, but it's just that I think I'm not getting punctually your question. But we are open to work with tourism more to develop the Caribbean and the Yucatan zone. Yeah, but also you have my contact, my mail and all, and you to make a point to the question. Or also, Flavio, if you could help me with the answer, please.
Sorry, I am a little bit distracted. What is the question, Fer?
It's what I think I'm not getting. I'm not understanding. Joel, could you please repeat the question?
Yeah, Flavio, I think the question basically is asking if Comce was working with operators and travel agencies, and is just trying to figure out what would be how would a successful tourism connection begin?
Yes, we are working here in Trinidad. Yes, we are working here in Trinidad and Tobago with the tourism and travel agencies to promote more Mexico as a tourism destination. In 3 months ago, we met with Copa Airlines to improve the best practices to promote Mexico in the travel agencies and to grow the dynamic for Trinidadians visitors to Mexico. Some travel agencies in Mexico is organizing by one of the chambers that I don't remember in this moment the name of the chamber. I don't know if I remember the name of the chamber of the tourism agencies. Well, I will share the number of the agency that is a chamber that provides connections with another chambers around the world, and maybe we can connect both chambers. Because to be honest, in Cancun, maybe 1,000 or 2,000 tour operators is working there, and in Mexico City, another thousands of tour operators. The tourism sector in Mexico is very dynamic, and a lot of people is working in that sector. So obviously, we would like to connect these travel agencies with Mexico, with Trinidad and Tobago. But first of all, we would like to connect the chambers, and maybe will be a very good first step for that.
All right, thank you very much, Flavio. Thank you very much, guys. Let's like bring back the conversation at this point. You've seen or heard the of the coaching, but I've heard the presentation so far. Tell me, is there anything from the TSI perspective or hearing from any of your members, any concerns that may have raised or any questions that you have?
Sure, Joel. So interestingly, during this session, I received some back-to-back calls from persons who heard about this, that this webinar is going on, and just was listening in to whoever told them about it. And they were very impressed by the kind of information that is being made available, so much so that they are now thinking about exploring options to do business in Mexico. So thank you very much to all the speakers, because the information that you presented has stirred a number of people to actually look into doing business in Mexico. And I would also like to add that all of the information from these webinars are available online on our website as well as via our YouTube channel. So if you missed it here, if somebody wants to get access, there is a library of content that is being created that you have access to.
Basti, we have a more question in the pool.
Sure. Would you be able to take it?
Yes, I am follow this question, but our colleagues of in Mexico City told me to complement the last answer that Mexico has the one important area that's a cultural diplomacy, cultural and tourism diplomacy agency in Mexico City is as well as the Director General of Impulso Económico Global. And through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, we connect with that travel agencies. And as well in the chat, as you can see, the Maya train and the project that we have for this important area. And I would like just to finish with one question for the direct flights from Trinidad and Tobago to Mexico. And we don't have direct flights, unfortunately. The connection is between within a scale in Caracas, each Saturday, as Ambassador Alvaro said, and with Panama through Copa, and Miami and Houston through Caribbean Airlines. So if you want to connect with Mexico, is for US, Panama, or Venezuela. And another question is, what are the opportunities for knowledge sharing on educational services? Well, isn't a lot of our institution, a Mexican institution in the private and the public sector that is trying to share knowledge. We have an example in our colleagues in San Lucia. One of the opportunities in the Caribbean Peninsula is one of the universities is connecting with them with San Lucia institution, and as well Mexico already are working with the UWI to provide or to concrete a memorandum of understanding and for provide educational services between both countries. So this is a key area for cooperation in educational services and as well in tourist sector. In the last meeting with the TTCSI, Basti and Market will share with the embassy the importance to the training in tourism sector, and we request for one of the most important institution that is in a CONALEP to training in tourism sector here in Trinidad and Tobago to provide more best practices here in that important area. And the final question is, I don't know if it's all the question, and it's another questions about the situation in Mexico in terms of security, but well, Mexico and all the Latin American countries is fighting against the crime, and as you know, the traffic of arms is an important topic for us, and we are fighting a lot to the traffic of arms. So this is one of the important problems in the security matters, and as you know, Mexico is promoting around the world the traffic against the the arms. So that's just to respond all the question and respect all the people that is asking in the pool. And thank you, Rebecca, for saying that the English is not a barrier for doing business with Mexico and the Caribbean and the speaking English Caribbean. So always the embassy is open to connect with everyone if you want to do business with us.
Thank you very much, Flavio. Appreciate you taking your time to go into some of the other questions that were there and being able to address them. I really appreciate that. Right. So as we are looking to wind down, I just want to give all our presenters the opportunity, if they have any final words that they would like to leave with us. I'd like to start with Alcantara. Present very corporation. Words that you like to us at the time.
Fernanda, if you want to closing remarks, or somebody from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, I don't know if Margarita is a little bit sick this morning, but I don't know if another Fernanda closing remarks.
Yeah, thank you, Flavio. Thank you. Well, just to know that we at Mexico are open to business. We want to work with you to bring your products and your companies to Mexico City, and we are working also to get more Mexico to Trinidad and Tobago and the Caribbean. So if you want to talk about any specific project, just please contact us, and well, we can talk about your company or your project. Just that, and thank you again to all you to being here, and also for the invitation, Basti, Ambassador, Margarita, Flavio. Thank you all for the invitation, for being here, and for being interested in Mexico. That's it. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Chavez. I'm not sure if we lost. So, Ms. Gary, are there any final words that you would like to leave at this point in time?
Sure. So I'm going to do a shameless plug for our Caribbean Services Exporters Survey Symposium. It's happening on the 26th and 27th of September. It's a complete virtual event, and it's designed that way simply because this is the way to go in terms of marketing and selling services. So we urge you all to please participate. We have roughly 4 tracks, which involves our trade ministers of CARICOM roundtable, as well as the dancehall CEO Zachary Harden from Jamaica will be closing off with a fireside chat. We have roughly about 2 to 3 fireside chats. Plus, there are opportunities for companies to take virtual booths. It's being done via the VFairs platform, which is really a truly remarkable platform that you even feel that you are immersed into the conference and the trade show, that you feel that you are actually there in person. So please check our website, www.ttcsi.org. And we look forward to hosting you at the event, because what we are trying to do is to build a community of services exporters across the globe. So Joelle, over to you.
Just
Joelle, we can't hear you. So maybe in the interest of time, I will now hand over to Ms. Tila Budram, who is the project administrator of our Gateway to Trade program, as well as Tila has taken the lead on the Doing Business with the World series. So Tila will now do the vote of thanks and closing remarks.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen, as we come to
Ilya,
the close
Ilya,
of
Ilya,
another. Hello?
Sorry. Yes, Miss Margarita Alcantara joined for their closing remarks. Can you wait 1 minute, please?
Sure, sure.
I don't know, is Margarita is ready? So somebody in Mexico? We are closing. One minute, please. Margarita, is there? No. No, not yet. So please proceed with the closing remarks. Sorry.
Okay, no problem. As we come to a close of yet another Doing Business with the World webinar, I want to extend our gratitude to all of you participants and presenters for being part of this collaborative effort between the TTCSI and the Mexican Embassy. Your participation has been truly instrumental in making this event a success. Throughout our discussions today, we've had the privilege of delving into key insights and valuable knowledge about the dynamic world of the service organizations. We've covered areas of opportunities and challenges as identified by both Miss Margarita and Miss Fernanda. And we would like to say a special thank you to both of them, Miss Margarita, for highlighting the opportunities for growth and development between Trinidad and Tobago and Mexico, along with Ambassador Melendez, who also shared his deep insights and beautiful presentation. We would also like to thank Ms. Chavez for her presentation on Mexico's economics and activity zones. I'm sure it will be very, very useful, and she will be getting a lot of emails on this going forward. Looking ahead, the journey doesn't end here. I want to encourage each and every one of you to take what was discussed here today and turn it into actionable deliverables, whether it's forging new partnerships, exploring untapped markets, or even implementing the strategies discussed here today and tapping into the beautiful importing and exporting opportunities and incentives that Mexico has to offer. And before we conclude, part of the networking opportunities that TTCSI offers is to log on to the NSEP, our international portal, where you can register your business and network and communicate with other businesses, not only in Trinidad and Tobago, but internationally. And in closing, we would also like to thank our sponsors, the Exim Bank, First Citizens, Republic Bank, UTC, National Energy, and NCB Merchant Bank. Again, I would like to thank all of our participants, including Ambassador and his team, and keep posted to the TTCSI socials and our website for more on our upcoming events. And we look forward to seeing you at our upcoming CSES virtual booth and virtual symposium. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mildred. Very insightful, informative session. We've come some technical difficulties. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much for having me, and hope you'll have a successful, productive day.
Thank you. See you.